Your first year out of university?
Out of university. It was a different experience because some of my friends wanted to go and travel, and that was their choice to do so. But I felt I was ready. I knew what I wanted to do, and I was fortunate at the time that I applied for a job at Bournemouth University. So I was able to move back home. I was able to move back home and start working within a university, which I felt was the right choice for me. But it was a difficult period because so many people had graduated and not gone into further education with a postgraduate, or they hadn't got into a job, so they were unemployed, or they went into a job that necessarily they didn't like, but it was that next step to be able to get some income, earn some money, and to still be able to travel and transition out of that university life of knowing that you could look after yourself, you could go and socialize a lot, but now you were all grown up and you graduated, you had to get a job, and that was the expected thing to do. So it's a difficult transition period. But I think for me, again, having some role models and a few key mentors that I really respected, they were able to help me with that transition of knowing that the first job you go into isn't necessarily the one you're going to stay in forever. You might do 6 months, you might do a couple of years, you might be fortunate enough and very talented that you stick with it and you progress naturally. But just be open to that opportunity that you are going to continually move employers, and it takes the time and takes a while to find what's right for you.
Could you remind us of the current title you hold?
Yes, I am head of sport at Sport Brighton. So I have overall responsibility for everything sport, health, and physical activity.
For students who want to be in a similar position as you, what advice would you give them?
What advice would I give them? Again, for me, it's about attitude. It's about having that breadth of knowledge within the sector, having an interest in many sports, understanding what's happening from government level down to the DCMS, Sport England, UK Sport, and actually being able to network and get the experience within those different fields. Sports development was a great underpinning for me because I was dealing with multiple governing bodies, multiple sectors, multiple individuals, be it a council, university, schools, education, to then hone my skills through sports management and now myself as a leader, as a head of sport. So for me, it was a great underpinning to hone what I wanted to do. So yeah, for me, it's get out there, experience as much as you can, but you've got to have that attitude and drive and personality, because that is your profile, which they'll look to you as a leader to support that wider team.
For students who are just about to start university, who are unsure of whether they were going to use their degree or still want to pick their degree, what advice would you give to those students?
I think they need to just take that step back and use that network and support group around them, be it their friends, be it their parents, but ultimately those career advisors within their schools or colleges, and also speak to the universities, because you need to be able to go to various individuals to get different perspectives and different feedback, and it will all be constructive. You need to then mull on that and make the right decisions for you. No one will ever, or no one should ever, be negative around the decisions you take. And you need to be confident enough that you've done your research and that you've done your groundwork to speak to individuals to make sure that that decision you take is right for you, because you need to stand by that and use that to the best of your ability to develop yourself. So I would definitely say, do as much investigation, speak to people within your wider network to be able to make sure you are comfortable with the decision you're making, the course you're going on to, or whether university is right for you in the first place.